This is lesson 122. We're on page 593 to 595, and this is finding a whole when a fraction is known. Okay, so our first statement says if 2/5 of the students in the class are boys, and there are 10 boys in the class, what is the total number of students in the class? Okay, there's a couple of ways that we can do this, but I want to visualize it a couple of ways. Okay, so first of all, we know that 2/5 is equal to 10 over whatever this unknown, okay? So x is the total number of students. Okay, so that's x, and we know there are 10 boys. Okay, so one way that your book shows visualizing this is if we cut the class into fifths, okay? All right, I realize that's not, there we go, that looks like fifths. And these two are boys, all right, and the rest of these are girls. And this is equal to 10, okay? Then it's obvious that each of these fifths is 5, right? So there are 15 girls, which means that the total number, x, is 25. All right, let me show you another way to do that. You can do that the way that the book shows, and I'm going to show a different way as well. So if we write a proportion, we know that the 2 out of 5 is the same as the 10 out of x, and we can cross multiply to find what that is. So we know that when we have an equivalent fraction, when you cross multiply, the numbers are equal. So 5 times 10 is going to be equal to 2 times whatever this x is. And then to get x by itself, we know that 2 times whatever x is equal to 50. So if I divide this by 2 and I divide this by 2, I get the number 25. So that is another way of finding this number, okay? I'm going to show this both ways as we go along. The first example says 3/8 of the people in town voted. If 120 of the people in town voted, how many people lived in the town? Okay, that is actually not that poor of a voter turnout, by the way. I think usually, well, yeah, it's probably worse than normal, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So our proportion 3/8 is the same as 120 to x, where x is equal to the total number of people in town. So again, if we divided up the town into 8 equal parts, and we say that 3 of those 8 equal parts is 120, 3 of those parts, then we know that in each part there are 40 people. How did I get 40? I just divided 120 into 3 parts. So to find the total number of parts, I'm just going to multiply 40 times 8, which gives me 320. That's the total number of people, 320. It's 40 times 8. All right? And the second way, of course, is 3 over 8 is equal to 120 over x. Cross multiply. And I have 8 times 120 equal to 3 times x. If I divide both sides by 3, I get 8 times 40 equals x, which is the same thing that I got before. It's just a different method of doing it. I think I just went too far. Okay, the last problem, the last example says 6 is 1/3 of what number? Okay, simple hint here for you guys. Anytime you see that word of, that is multiplication. So 1/3 x equals 6. Okay, I don't know if that will mean much to you until you're getting on later in life and in math. But when you see the word of, that is multiplying. Okay, having said that, your book uses a different approach, which is just as valid. If we know that 1/3 is 6, okay, so if I divide something into 3 parts and I know that one of the thirds is 6, then what is the whole number? Well, it's just 6 times 3, and that is 18. So it helps. Oh, there is one more problem. Okay. It helps to draw a picture and to try and think of it. Sorry. All right. The last example, promise. This is actually the last example. 6 is 2/3 of what number? So again, we're going to divide something into 3 parts. I'm looking at the denominator when I do that. And I know that 6 is equal to 2 of the thirds. So that must mean these are each 3. So that total is 9. Okay. I'm just going to show you one more method of doing it, but if you want to go ahead and, if you think, I got it, Mrs. Peterson, just turn it off now if you want. 6 is 2/3 of what number? So that means 2/3 times what number equals 6. So if I just multiplied each of these sides by this reciprocal so I could get x by itself, I'm going to do the same thing to both sides. And those cross off and those cross off. All I'm left with is x. And this ends up as 3 times 3, which is 9. All right, that's it for this lesson. Have a good day and God bless.